past 50 years, Jefferson's gymnasium has been a source of pride and hard work, but with its age, our gym is facing new obstacles.
These obstacles come in many forms and are seen in many places throughout the gym, and for the most used classroom at Jefferson, it is important that we do something now.
The first issue is the lack of handicapped accessibility, that not only presents a problem during the school day, but also creates a major safety concern during varsity basketball games. Creating handicapped accessible areas in our current bleachers will compact a seating problem at crowded games by cutting available seating space down. At a recent conference game, both sides of the bleachers, steps, and the stage area were full of spectators. It is also rumored that some fans do not attend big games just to avoid these overcrowded situations.
In addition to accessibility expenses, the ceiling and floor are areas that we will need to sink major dollars in if we continue to use this gym as our primary gymnasium, whereas if it was a second gymnasium, we could find less expensive ways to address these problems.
The ceiling is already below the recommended height, set by the National Federation for Basketball Games, so adding less expensive sheeting isn't a viable option because it also decreases ceiling height. Tearing the tile out and replacing the whole ceiling becomes very expensive.
The floor has been sanded down to the countersunk nails, and it has been recommended not to sand it again. Replacing a floor is also a major cost, but adding finish without sanding creates a darker surface that becomes slick, with use making it a hazard for both our athletes and competing schools. If used as a secondary gymnasium, this would not have to be addressed immediately and can be taken care of over time.
Another major concern is the locker rooms, which need updates now. Although they have served their purpose for many years, now they seem more like a dungeon than an inviting place to get cleaned up after physical activity. Although cleaned regularly, their appearance alone sends a dark and damp message rather than rewarding our athletes.
As often as the gym is used now, it could be used for even more educational purposes other than just physical education. Classroom experiments and recess would be new options if we had a second gym to host physical education classes.
With a second gym, the old gymnasium would be a great place to hold science experiments, which are now conducted in the hall. An okay option, however, it is sometimes avoided to keep from disturbing our classes in session.
Recess in the gym would be a better option for elementary classes who sometimes miss recess when the weather is cold and the multi-purpose room is set up for lunch. There are also many safety concerns with multi-purpose room when it is used. Studies have proven that there is a great value to unstructured play, and some of our students are missing out on this due to the lack of space or poor weather.
There would also be the option of scheduling both practices right after school, eliminating early morning or late practices. A place to hold varsity practice on junior high game night or when the other gym is set up for some other event is another intriguing point of having two gymnasiums.
One time, a great source of pride, our gym is now outdated. The game of basketball is faster paced, and the inlines and heating registers are too close to the playing area and present a safety concern every day. Although there is a protective mat on the wall under the basket, a basketball player as recently as 2 years ago missed 3 weeks of the season due to an injury sustained from running into our mat. Children during the game are sometimes inches away from varsity athletes moving at high speeds. It's not just the athletes that face safety concerns.
Although structurally sound and useful for educational purposes, our gym has long since seen its glory days for athletic competition. We need to look toward the future of Jefferson, and instead of sinking excessive money into a gym that is past its prime, focus on the benefits of building a new, safe gym that Jefferson athletes will be able to continue their tradition of hard work and glory. The current gym will still have an important place in educational instruction, but at this point is not a viable option for athletics. A new gym will reflect the new guidelines, safety measures, and the forward vision that Jefferson needs for the next 50 years and beyond.
Well, I bumped into your best friend, said you're talking and thinking, leaving everything you've ever known. How far do you want to go?
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. and the go on.